very much, Speaker, for giving us this opportunity to talk to you about different issues affecting the community of Matatiele. First of all, can you tell us about the responsibility or the role of your office in this municipality?
Thank you very much, Mr. Nomaponga, and the crew that you're going with. My role as the Speaker is so vast. Firstly, I chair council meetings and I chair a rules committee. Remember, a council is run through the rules. So I chair the rules committee. A number of committees in council like Public Participation Committee, Women's Caucus, the MPEC, then extension and the wing of the Office of the Speaker because they are council committees. So I also play an oversight over the executive and these other committees. But through Public Participation Committees, of course, because there's a Public Participation Committee of Council and Petitions that the office is working with. Remember, the office is in twofold. It's the Speaker's office and the Office of the Speaker, of which that can twist you if maybe you don't understand the operations inside. But the Speaker's office talks to the staff in the Speaker's office. The Office of the Speaker talks to the other officials in the municipality, like the Public Participation Officer, Ngoma, and manager, Utadundai, who is the Public Participation Manager. So that is the Office of the Speaker. So a number of programs that I run in the office, they are either from the Speaker's office or the Office of the Speaker through Public Participation Committee.
Okay.
So that's my responsibility, is playing oversight over all other committees, through other committees and the Speaker's office.
Okay, let's talk about public participation. What do we mean when we talk about public participation?
By public participation, we mean public taking or participating and initiating, advising on a number of issues that happen to the institution through public dialogues, through public education, through interaction in their respective wards. In fact, it works through the structures that are put in place in first. Remember, there's a ward councillor, there's ward committees, there's other structures in the ward. Those structures, they come together through the ward committee because the ward councillor is the chairperson of the ward committee. So the ward committees have got portfolios. That is, the ward committee responsible for education, a ward committee responsible for health issues, the ward committee responsible for IEC issues, so that the public is aware of everything that happens around government. So public participation is very, very broad. It also goes hand in glove with Matatiele principles, that you give people information, you consult them on issues that could not happen. You go and do redress, you go back to the people to say, here and here, we couldn't do A, B, C, and D. So people are always on the same board with the institution. Okay.
Now, are you happy that the people, they do understand what you are talking about, or maybe there's still a lot that you have to do in your office so that they can be able to fully participate as the public?
I cannot say I'm happy currently. Remember, I've said public participation has to do with education as well. Because people, when they don't have information, normally they will do things otherwise because they're not informed. The Speaker's office has initiated an idea of a public participation forum that will be established and launched next week. Because much as there's ward councillors in the wards, there's ward committees. Recently there's been this issue of Matatiele where we thought, the government thought, in that forum, in that Matatiele, people will be able to air out their voice. But the office has noticed that not all the stakeholders have the laxity of participating. Take for instance, the taxi association is here in town. The hawkers, the bus association, a number of business people, during the day, when we go out to the wards, they are not there to kind of air their views, to be able to exercise their rights of participating on the issues that affect them. Now, the Speaker's office came with the initiative of a public participation forum where all these stakeholders recognized, understand this one, recognized public participation drivers and stakeholders. Stakeholders that have a constitution, that are accountable to those constituencies that they have. Because we have noticed also that you find that all of a sudden you see people calling themselves a stakeholder with no constitution, with no reference, accountable to nowhere. Now we're going to organize all those organized stakeholders, like associated, like I've said, Taxis Association, Bus Association, business people, and other departments to come under one roof and begin to say these are the issues that are happening in all the wards and including the town. Then what is the problem with you? In fact, Department of Health, can you tell us how do you operate? People get sick in their villages, then when they go to the hospital they are told you should have consulted with the clinic first. Now people they don't know that. And some of the clinics are far away from those villages. What happens to the situation? Then the departments must make a presentation in the public participation forum so that public understands this is how the Department of Health operates. EMS, those emergency services, they must be able to present to the public to say this is how we operate. When there's an accident, this is what we're expecting from the community as well as, and who are the other stakeholders that participate in the accident. So that we go out, the Speaker's office will draft a program after a public participation forum meeting to take 3 departments that correlate with one another to the communities. I've started that program. My program as the Speaker goes to the traditional councils. I don't go to the halls where councillors hold meetings. I go to the traditional councils where all the traditional councils like the headmen, sub-headmen, the chiefs, the ward committees, your SGPs, everybody that's a stakeholder, public participation driver in that ward gets into that meeting. Then I bring along these departments to kind of say, can you educate the people how are operations? What you expect from when there's this kind of a situation. So that's how public participation is viewed. So that public understands that when I've got this problem, this is where I go. That's why the public participation forum is going to involve all the departments to table their presentations. And you will be invited to kind of listen and take notes, because we feel we have not done justice in terms of public education and public participating. Yes, we may term other programs that we have as public participation, but you find that you go in that particular meeting with your own agenda. And there's no space where we accommodate the agenda or the items or the issues that committee want to raise. They end up raising 2 questions depending on our own agenda, on our own presentation. So I want to do this vice versa, that public must participate in terms of saying, these are the issues that we also want to raise. Then we respond to those issues, we bring along relevant structures, relevant departments, so that public is at ease to understand, okay, if this has to do with the Department of Education or the MEC for whatever department, but these are the procedures, this is what is expected from that department.
Okay, how is it different, public forum, how is it different to the war rooms that have been set by the provincial office? How is it different?
The difference is that the war rooms are a service delivery model. They deal specifically with service delivery issues. But for an individual to understand what's happening in this country, must have information in the operations. When they come there, the Speaker, they must know what we're asking, what are the function of the Speaker in the first place. So that when they come into this office, they know. People normally say, Umaspala ut. Only to find they went to the administration side of the municipality. One other time they would say Umaspala ute, only to find they came to the political side of the municipality. So they must know those things, that the municipality is composed of 3 legs. It's the political arm, the administrative arm, and themselves as the community as voters. So they must be aware that whenever they have problems or challenges or petitions, they must bring it to the office of the Speaker, so that the office of the Speaker channels them to the relevant departments, for those departments to account and give responses. Like I'm saying, the war room is specifically for the service delivery model.